Okay guys, I have a solution to my previous problem of not enough wall room for the new Windows bin, and my solution is to build another wall. So that's today's project. It's going to go kind of somewhere in line with that post, a little bit further back, and then come out about 5 feet or so along this floor. So I have to leave enough room for the furnace because that's the filter access, so I need a couple of feet right here, and then I also want to leave these 8 bins where they're at before it turns the corner. So these two will have to move onto the new wall, but this should give me enough room for by the time those two are up on the wall, 4 new bins, which I have one of over there. Then I can buy 3 more, gradually fill those in. So, building a wall today, not out of Lego, but out of construction material, which is similarly highly priced at the moment. But that's okay. It's not a huge wall, so it should go up pretty quickly. Alright, the outside studs and bottom stud is in, bottom plate. And I'm tying these in up top to a ceiling joist, so they're really locked in there, pretty rigid. That's how I got my bottom line as well. I just leveled up to that joist. And I had this, I was going to show this in the opening section, but this is the basic layout here. Put a couple studs in, piece of plywood, and then I'm not going to do a lot of finishing or painting. Just need another wall surface to mount the acro mills to. So that's kind of the footprint where that's going to be. And yeah, it is going pretty good so far. So now as I walk in to the workshop area here, I'll have this wall kind of separating off this corner. And this will be nice because it'll have all the bins consolidated over here. And the other thing that I remembered as I was working on this, when the furnace kicked on, it actually makes quite a bit of noise in here. I mean, I'm right next to it, so I'm not surprised. So this isn't going to block all the noise, but it will help put a little bit of a barrier up. Just, you know, anything's better than nothing to help block the just the rush of air and all the noise that's going on when that's running. So studded up here, the next step is the plywood, and I'm just going to do the one side here. I'll probably put in a little bit of bracing behind it where I need to put in the screws. So that's the way that these mount is there are screws in the corner that line up with the holes in there. So just a matter of extending that line across behind the plywood, putting some blocking in there to get the screws into. And it's going to be 4 feet is your standard plywood width, so that goes to this stud, and then I'll have to fill in a little patch right here, but I will have plenty of room to get both of these drawers open. That's one of the things when you have things going into a corner. If they're right next to each other, there's interference when those drawers are opening, but yeah, I've got plenty of room for that to work out. And I did check the numbers. I think 3 units is exactly 5 feet from one end to the other. It's really close. And from this edge to this board is about 2 inches longer than 5 feet. So I'll also be able to come in from that corner a little bit as well. I might even get something going in right here. If I have a really narrow unit, I could get going. But moving towards the plywood stage now and make it look pretty. I'll probably try to go up in between these air ducts and around some of that stuff just to help completely get it all blocked off. Alright, this is the moment of truth. This is the first attempt to see if this cut will fit. But I measured everything twice, so pretty confident about this one. I've got a couple blocks in up top to catch that top piece. And I did cut it a little loose around the ducts, so I'm not too worried about that. This is looking pretty good to me, so I'm going to call that a win. So with the plywood in place, it is now time to get the layout for the next row of acro mills. And I don't know if I've gone into detail on this process before. I did a shorts about it, but that wasn't as much covering how I actually get the layout for the support screws. So the first thing I did is bring a level across from the top of this drawer to this plywood, and that will help keep everything kind of in the same line, have the same height. And then I brought that line all the way across. It's kind of faint, but I want to start at this left edge. So that's where I'm going to hold up my empty unit right here. And once I have that top line and my left edge where I want it, with all the drawers out, I can actually see in these corners where I'm going to need those support screws. So what I've done is I've taken a pencil and just put a little pencil mark in that corner, and then I put a line along the edge of the unit right there. Take the same thing and repeat. Line up the left side and the top, get more marks, and then do it one more time. And so the last acro mills unit should be somewhere in there, about where I was thinking it would be. So I'll have a little dead space in this corner. Don't know how I'm going to fill that yet. If I'm going to fill it, I might just run another board all the way back and just kind of have a solid corner there. Not sure yet. But the wall is pretty much complete at this point. The only thing left on the lumber side would be some support blocking behind on this other side, so that the screws holding up the acro mills units can actually go into something and not just through 1/2-inch plywood. So that should be next. Well, that about wraps it up for this project, guys. The wall is in place, it is solid, it's not going anywhere, and it's going to hold up the next row of acro mills. Actually, just need 2 more here. This one is kind of the spare that I've had floating around. I don't have all the drawer inserts for it. So usually I just keep it down on the floor, and these guys are floaters, but I'm going to tuck it up here for now because I've got the space. And then at some point, at least 2 more, and I'll probably replace this one with a full set. Maybe do some more of these smaller ones and see how the pab wall pieces do filling this out. So I'm about halfway full with this one right now, and I still have a few of the pad cups to go. So we'll see. That's stuff to worry about later, but the windows bin is up, and these 2 have been moved around the corner. That was the main goal here for this wall addition to the workshop. And yeah, a little bit of a different topic today. This is actually what I do for work, so construction, and bringing that home today for the channel, I suppose. So thanks for watching, guys, and we'll get back to the LEGO content soon here on Brick System Brothers.